Exactly 26 minutes after 7. One subject that I am so much interested in, the Confederation of African Football's Executive Committee will later today decide the host for the 2017 African Cup of Nations. AFCON 2015 runners-up Ghana, 2012 co-host Gabon, and 1990 title winners Algeria. The other three countries vying to take over hosting rights from Libya, who withdrew themselves last year due to the civil war currently happening in that country. There's also the subject of Issa Hayatou for life. You can get involved in this particular conversation on facebook.com/Joy News on TV. Let your voice be heard. My colleague Redwan Ibrahim Asante joins me right now. We're going to talk CAF issues. Redwan, good morning.
Good morning, Mama.
So, CAF is going to decide, first of all, who is going to host this tournament 2017. We are also vying to host this. Are we the favorites?
One of them.
Oh, but it's just three.
Yes. So one. You know, we're one.
As in, are we in the lead?
I think Gabon in the lead.
Oh, really?
You know,
what do they have that we don't have?
They have money. They've got, unflinching government support for the bid. The president of Gabon, Omar Bongo, yes. Ali Bongo. Omar Bongo is his dad. Ali Bongo is a personal friend to Issa Hayatou, and he's pledged that he's going to spend. He's got a financial wherewithal to carry out projects. I was in Gabon, in 2012 when they co-hosted a championship with Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah.
The short time he was in charge of the country, he was able to provide amenities and, even the construction of the stadia. That's the new stadia that hosted the finals. Incredible. It was, such, a giant, edifice in the capital, Libreville. Also in Franceville, there was another stadium which was, put up. And then there was the camping site for the national team. It was a thick forest, which was graded down. There was a construction, an apartment, a training pitch just close
all
to.
in what kind of space?
It's a big. They've got Gabon has got a huge landscape.
Yeah.
And the acres available. It's a.
I'm even talking about the
I'm talking about a
timelines.
virgin forest. No, they did that within quite a considerable amount of months. But with what Equatorial Guinea did, for the championship, the just ended Nations Cup in 2015. 2 years is even enough. Just maybe 2 years enough. For a country to host the Nations Cup. So for Gabon, they are ready. The president is ready, and Hayatou is confident that Gabon will be able to meet expectations. What I gather was that Hayatou was expecting Ghana to accept the bid when Morocco, relinquished the hosting rights, but when we let him down. We let him down, and I think politically it was also not a good, timing. The timing was wrong. We had a lot of issues. We are still, having water, power issues.
Yeah.
The economy in a bit in tatters. We know how the inflation rate was, at that time. So the government did not want to get unpopular, ahead of the elections coming up.
Okay.
So
you think CAF is perhaps not happy with us for making that kind of decision, and that
that's
would
one.
affect us?
The second factor also has to do with the bid committee. It's a 7-man body. The likes of Ernest Thompson in charge, Dr. Yahuta Maklude, Lepura MND Jaola is also part of the bid. You've got Rex Dankwa included, Abedi Pele is part of it. So, they didn't include the FA president. That's Kwesi Nyantakyi. And when they decided to do it all by their own and then hit a brick wall, they then had to turn to Kwesi Nyantakyi, who at that point in time he said Hayatou had already made up his mind, and then the executive committee members were just going to ratify his, choice of Gabon. But then I also know, and I can confirm, that President John Mahama phoned Issa Hayatou 3 days ago, had a chat with him, and that's refreshing. It breathes life into Ghana's bid. And
to say what exactly? I mean, to convince him that we're ready to host it?
We're able to give it. See, the whole world I've been to the last 5 of the 6. Out of the last, the 6 tournaments, I've been to the last 5 of them.
Okay.
Covered the last 5 of the Nations Cup. And I tell you, all the international media you meet, they've got fond memories of 2008.
Okay.
They've got fond memories of 2008. But, it's a bit tricky when you have the man who acted as the chief operating officer for 2008, tell you that it wasn't at that point in time. They made very, very little in terms of returns. Even the country, we are unable to say, how much we invested. We are able to declare the returns. We knew we pumped a lot into hosting the Nations Cup in 2008, but how did the economy, benefit? Where the trickle down effect? How did it impact on the other sectors of the economy? In terms of transportation, did we see anything improving? The hospitality industry, did we see gains?
I think I heard Kofi Amwa say, for instance, that we made a loss.
We made a loss, and that's a chink in our armor. I think that's the only thing that can derail our efforts. That's if CAF is listening, but I don't think CAF is interested in that as well. I've seen the bid for Algeria, quite convincing. They're going to build a stadium. They're going to renovate the stadium in Annaba to increase it to 80,000 from 60,000 capacity.
Yeah.
There's another stadium underway, which is under construction in Oran. Oran is the capital, the commercial capital for Algeria. They've got the harbor. They've got it's a nice giant place. It's very, very industrial city. I've been to Oran before, and it's very, very nice. They've got facilities. They've got synthetic and also natural pitches for them. So that stadium also fits 60,000. There's also the July 5th stadium in Algiers, which is also in contention, and the national stadium in Algiers, that's the capital, hosted the Nations Cup. The last time Algeria hosted was in 1990, and they won. It was part of the stadium that hosted the Nations Cup. So Algeria have looked very, very prepared, and I've used the transportation system in Algeria, traveled from far north to the south as well of Algeria, traveling from Temushent to Algiers. It looks quite impressive with the sort of the roads also good. If you don't have money to fly, you can go by road, and I think I like the road.
But isn't Algeria a bit unstable too?
No, I think everywhere there's instability everywhere. Agitations will come in. I think when Brazil decided to host the Nations and the World Cup, we had people complain.
Yeah.
A lot of people had reservations about hosting of the tournament. So the instability, the only thing that can take it away is when it's at a higher keeper tone, or when you have political upheaval, like what we saw in Libya before they decided to relinquish their hosting rights. But if it's normal political differences, then I think it's capable. They are capable of getting it done.
Okay, so big question: what do we have to show?
That's what you see. I've not seen the documents. I can only talk about the Algerian document because I've seen the prototype of the stadium.
So why is ours a secret?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you can tell what Gabon is putting on the table and what
Algeria is I don't know because okay, one, I think on top of the mind, the stadium there's a newly constructed or under construction in Cape Coast will be one. So we are likely to see the Accra Sports Stadium is in a mess. We've got all the metals rusting. So maybe hosting will bring a bit of rehabilitation, and the stadium will be improved. The media stands it's not the best. I mean, if you've been to the Nations Cup, I've been to Egypt, I've been to Gabon, I've been to Equatorial Guinea, I've been to South Africa. And I think the facilities for the media, for international media, we need to improve.
Far better than that of
Far
Ghana.
better. You need to provide Wi-Fi. With speed. You're talking about, because people don't have to send
file their reports right.
Yes, audio and visuals as well. So when hosting, to some extent we might benefit, right? We might increase. We're going to get good internet facility, fiber optic. Being at its best time for other sectors of the economy. Maybe we can benefit when we decide to host this time around.
Yeah.
So the training pitches that were constructed are still in place. Tamale is in good condition. It's the only good stadium you can talk about in Ghana now. It looks very, very, very fresh.
How about the Takoradi? The Takoradi
it's in a mess.
I remember we spent so much.
It's in a mess as well. The Takoradi is in a mess as well. But the training pitch there is quite.
So when you lay your cards on the table, what are you telling them? Do you show pictures of what you currently have and what you plan to do with it?
First, there has to be a strong presidential backing to your bid.
Okay. So I guess that phone call will settle it.
Not that, but you have to say how much you're ready to pumping. See, Gabon has got money to invest. You know, look at what Equatorial Guinea did. They had to import a whole turf. Contract Evergreen is the #1 pitch construction firm
from Spain or something.
Yes, from Spain in the world. You know, Evergreen, so professional. You know, they came in within a short time, relayed the turf, and it was good. When you have money to spend, you can get everything done under the sun.
Yeah.
You know,
but we spend a lot of money in sports as well, particularly in football.
No. In Ghana, we don't.
But we make noise about it.
It's just a drop in the ocean. You know, what we think is because we have other sectors, you know, struggling. So we intend to think that yes, you know, we have, you know, we are putting in a lot. But then if you like to do a comparison, then you see that Ghana, we're still not spending enough in sports at all.
Okay, just to wrap up on this particular subject, would we be disappointed if we don't, you know, get the nod to host 2017? Would Ghanaians be disappointed?
I don't think the ordinary Ghanaian, you know, cares so much about we hosting the Nations Cup.
Okay.
But one, you know that there's apathy already with respect to the Black Stars. You know, we hosting, it'll bring up a whole lot of issues. You know, unlike countries hosting to bring, you know, factions together, or when we host, it will rather bring troubles. You know, we are now going to look at who is earning how much are we doing this. You know, we don't trust ourselves, so we are always going to complain about the bidding of events. You know, who did this? We saw what happened. You know, conflict of interest cases cropping up. You know, who's going to handle this event? Who's going to do that? You know, that's what is going to kill us. But I think ideally, hosting the Nations Cup, you know, will be good. I mean, if only we are going to get things in place and we are going to learn from, you know, the wrongs of the 2008 bid committee. Why did you make a loss? We've still not even assessed that. We've still not.
Things are still not transparent. We don't know so much.
We still don't know how much. Why did we make a loss? What were our mistakes? The legacy projects, did we have any at all? You know, I don't think so. Okay. But then hosting could be different this time around. I mean, we've seen countries, you know, host again. Maybe Gabon, you know, they don't care so much. The president has got money and he would like to spend just to unite his people, just to bring, you know, fame to his people. You know, Gabon has got money. You know, just in recent times, they had to host friendlies with Brazil, you know, and co. And they are playing big-time countries. They've got, you know, money to spend. So, I mean, that shouldn't be a problem at all. Algeria also in good shape, but, you know, the country's FA president, Mohamed Raurawa, wants to contest Issa Hayatou, and Issa Hayatou, you know...
He's got an extension. I mean, he can be there for life.
Yes. And
what does that mean? You know, I was saying this morning that I grew up only knowing Issa Hayatou as CAF president.
Yes.
And I'm wondering what he's contributed. How has he transformed African football?
It's true. I mean, he's done that. Hayatou has improved African football more than CAF has done to African football. Yes.
But he's CAF president.
Yeah, I say, sorry, Blatter
has done
done more. FIFA president has done more improving African football than our own CAF president.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's interesting.
That's you know, first of all, it's FIFA that decided, you know, we're going to increase the number of African countries to 5. You know, it used to be 3, and then he increased the slots. There's also the FIFA Goal project, whereby it's FIFA that is helping African countries who do not have the money, you know, to provide offices, secretariat for them, and also Goal project, the establishment of the Ghanaman Soccer School of Excellence in Pram, you know, is living testimony, you know, and they are spreading it across, you know, the continent, and that is what is keeping them, you know, going. So FIFA is doing more, and that's how come 54 member countries have pledged to vote for Sepp Blatter, because it's simple. We know what he can do for Africa. We don't know what the rest can do for Africa. So why do I have to gamble and choose somebody else who later might say, you know, Africans, you are cheating under 17 tournaments, so we are going to reduce your slot to just 1. You know, is that what, you know, somebody can come up and say, the new president can come out and say, Africans are cheats, so we're just going to reduce your number of playing in age categorized competitions to just one, and that will be a big blow.
So we are safe with Sepp Blatter.
No, yes. What do you say? There's a saying that the devil you know
is better than the angel you don't know.
Yes, I mean so.
But are we better? Are we still better with Issa Hayatou?
There's more to be done, but you see, it's a case of underdevelopment. You know, we have majority of African countries being underdeveloped. So from that stage, they fail to do the basics. They fail to get the basic things, you know, in place. Like the leagues in Africa, you know, the countries are not doing well enough to improve the leagues or strengthen the leagues of in Africa.
Okay.
So you know, so you have a supervising body. If you know the leagues in Africa are just not getting things right, there's very little Hayatou. You can see there's one thing that Hayatou has done. People might criticize him, but the introduction of the CHAN tournament, which is meant for locally based players alone, you know, was a fast one.
Okay.
You know, that was a fast one by Hayatou. You know, because we often see players being sidelined, those playing in home-based leagues being sidelined. So do a tournament, and it's fast catching on in January. You know, it's becoming the second biggest tournament on the continent.
I'm sure this conversation would definitely be to be continued, but just quickly on Facebook, Owusu Bernard says football really needs new mind and ideology. Sepp Blatter must go. Albert says our game needs fresh faces. Nyantechi, Issa Hayatou, and Sepp Blatter must go. Mohammed Astro says football needs fresh brains. Sebastian and Kroma Osajifo Kwame says partners in crime. That's Sepp Blatter and Issa Hayatou together. But Ridwan, I want to say thank you for your time, really. I'm sure there will be a lot more of this on sports. Thank you so much. My next guest really is Anes Hafa. We're talking about a subject that we're all guilty at. We pass or we don't pass, do we forget? Does it make us poor? He's written an article on a very interesting one. He's got a lot to share with us. So stay with us right now. Ms. Anes Hafa will be my guest.